Technoblade, the Anarchist pig, the PvP god, and a surprisingly decent builder. He has caused many wonders on the server, mostly being of explosions and destruction, but at core he has remained a kind soul to his friends and allies, even though he has no problem with destroying his enemies. His time on the server, while it is shorter than some of the other players, has caused a larger impact than some of the oldest players on the server, destroying Lemanberg twice now, and just living his life, doing what he wants. He goes around spreading anarchy and chaos, and he'll probably keep doing so into the future. His legacy and life is an interesting one, so let's dive straight into it. Technoblade joined the server at the request of Tommy Innit and Wilverson when they were trying to make Pogtopia to overthrow Lemanberg. Of course he accepted, him being all for anarchy and against the government. He immediately started to grind, getting mass amounts of potatoes, and just trying to get his gear up, in which he did, getting full netherite in like a couple of days. Absolute record. He then proceeded to entertain a couple of events during his time with Pogtopia. The first of which would be the Battle of the Lake, which was mostly him being roped into Tommy's shenanigans, and of course the infamous line, "I have the blade." Then comes the next incident. Now, Technoblade is a person whose morals and whose alignment can be a bit argued due to how contrarian his decisions are and his actions. They can either be swayed on one side, in which you believe that he is completely in the wrong, or another, in which you believe, hey, he might be in the right. The first of which is when the Red Festival comes around. Technoblade, of course, isn't exiled from Lemanberg, and as such goes and vibes with the people there. He has fun with the dunk tank. He has fun doing the boxing matches and, rigging them. But in the end, the moment that really defines it is when Techno is forced to go up onto the stage and is asked politely to kill Tubbo. Of course, Techno has a moral dilemma here. He doesn't actually want to kill Tubbo, but being under peer pressure and not knowing if Wilbur and Tommy are going to be anywhere close by to save him, he decides to shoot Tubbo. And Tubbo dies, but so does J-Schlatt, Quackity, and then he proceeds to kill everyone else. Now, this is the first moment which has caused a bit of a rift between Tommy and Techno, and a bit of more the rest of Pogtopia, but it's very much one that can be argued from either side. It's a decision which you can either see as incredibly bad, and that he should have done everything he could to keep Tubbo alive, or that it was a good decision, and that the benefits of it outweigh the cost. And then, of course, comes the revolution itself. Techno outfits the entirety of Pogtopia in his gear, which he grinded ages for, and they go out to fight. They are all covered in netherite, they are all ready to do the fighting, and they sweep through Dream's forces. When they corner J-Schlatt, he dies, and finally, the government's gone. Woohoo! But this is where Pogtopia / Lemanberg and Technoblade's path diverges, and the first major conflict between the two happen. Pogtopia / Lemanberg, or at this point, which has become Lemanberg, their goal was to take down the Manberg government, and then make a new government. Techno's goal was to take down any government. So when Lemanberg comes up, Techno's immediate reaction is to, hey, take this one down too. Of course, this is looked at as a betrayal, but if you consider it, Pogtopia betrayed him first, but again, it's a fact of who betrayed who, and you could argue it for a while. I'm not going to try and argue which one, because that would be a whole thing on taking sides, and I'm neutral in this place, even though I do watch Techno more. Anyways, Techno releases his withers, puts some TNT down, leaves Lemanberg. It's the end of an arc, and Techno's pretty chill now. He's done what he wanted to do, so he goes off into the wilderness. Foza helps him up there, and he settles down. He's a peaceful man now. And of course, the peace doesn't last long. The Butcher Army comes along, and they kind of want to execute him. Techno is, of course, whoa, I value my life, please do not. And, of course, they fight. Techno actually wins the fight, of all things. Like, the battle itself, Techno wins, even though he's outnumbered like 4-1. Of course, at the last second, Quackity grabs a hold of Carl, Techno's horse, one of his only prized possessions, and the entire battle swings in another direction. Techno is a good man, and of course gives up all of his gear, his armor, his weapons, so his horse can live. He goes with the group over to the execution stand. Of course, they're kidnapping, 0 out of 10, and gets prepared to die. But not really. This is Technoblade, remember? He has a plan, and that plan is to, well, have a totem of undying on him, given to him by Dream. The anvil falls, he survives and runs away. That's cool. Of course, he is then cornered by Quackity. They fight, and Techno wins, proving that he is truly the master of PvP on this server. He won it with a pickaxe of all things. Techno retreats and is now pissed at L'Manberg again and goes, alright, I gave them a chance. I said, hey, peace, you might, but no. They said, absolutely not, we want war. So, Techno's angry again, and he's out for blood. Then he finds Tommy in his basement, and they decide to team up because Techno agrees to help Tommy get his discs, and Tommy's basically homeless. And of course, Tommy agrees to help Techno. They go around getting bit by bit of his gear back, getting his armor back from Ranbu, who was very nice about it, getting his crossbow and pick back, and as well as his sword. Then, of course, Techno finally tells Tommy that, you know what, they could really be friends, and admits to him that he's planning to blow up L'Manberg. Tommy is shaken by this, and including the fact that he's reminded that Techno killed Tubbo, is a bit shaken. Of course, the next day, right afterwards, Tommy betrays Techno, Dream joins Techno, and Techno feels incredibly betrayed. It's an obvious feeling that he was fully ready to consider Tommy a friend, making it so that anyone else in the future who will ever try and approach him, he will just be naturally afraid of, or suspicious of. I'm looking at you, Ranbu. Anyways, the day of the destruction comes, and it goes incredibly well for Techno and Phil and Dream. Techno has his withers and his dogs. Phil has this trusty Totem of Undying, and Dream has so much TNT. They destroy the place, raze it to the ground. Really easily, actually. Techno does almost die a few times, but took a lot less effort than I think it would have. They raze the place to the ground. Techno argues with Tommy for one last time before finally heading back home. It was and this is one of those moments that's is Techno evil or is he neutral or good? Because this is an incredible act of destruction, but at the same time he's doing it because of the way the government acted towards him. They just tried to kill him. They tried to execute him while he was still trying to be a neutral party, or at least a peaceful party. It's just, and of course you could also argue that Techno destroyed L'Manberg for the first time, as such they deserved to be able to execute him. But then you can also, it's a line of things that have led up to things that have led up to things, and it all cascaded into one destruction of the land. All of these small events that led into slightly larger events, that led into slightly larger events, finally led into a full-blown explosion. Anyways, Techno decides to calm down again and just create a small organization to create anarchy. And that's where we're at now. Anything that happens in the future, I do not take accountability for. Anyways, let's just look at a more deep analysis of his character. Now, an analysis of Techno's character is very much an analysis of his goals and his motives, because that is what drives him fully. Unlike some other characters like Tommy, who are sometimes driven by the disc, or Dream who's driven by control, Techno is driven by a goal, and that goal is the destruction of government. He will do nearly anything to do this apart from betray his friends, something that he refuses to do. And when I say his friends, I mean Phil's in Minecraft. Techno has done everything on the server to accomplish this goal of destroying L'Manberg, or Manberg, or whatever government there is. He'll farm withers for hours on end, just to get enough wither skulls to completely destroy the place. He'll farm netherite to make sure that he's properly looted. He'll breed dogs to make sure that he's properly strengthened up. He'll get totems of undying to make sure his best friend won't die, which is quite a sweet thing. Anyways, Techno's character is very much his goal and motive. There's not much more to say or look deeper into it and into his actions, because this is what he does. If something gets in the way of it, and it's not one of his very, very close friends, he will discard it, and he will continue moving straight for that goal. That is Technoblade, the unmoving missile who will continuously destroy government until there are none left, and anarchy can reign supreme. But of course, you can't take down a government alone. Maybe you can. He tried to do it once and it kind of worked. But you mainly need friends. But you also make enemies along the way. Here is my character relationship part. Woo, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go from the people he's most friendly with, which is Philza, to the person who hates him the most, which is Quackity. Now there are a few characters who he has interacted with, but not enough for me to go deep into detail, so I'll just go into them quickly. The closest friend that he has that I'm not going into detail is Rambo. I do know they're probably going to have a lot more character relations, but at the moment there hasn't been enough, so I'll just say they're really good friends. Rambo is just a pretty chill guy, and now that he's with Techno, even though Techno's a bit suspicious of him, they're still pretty chill at the moment. Next up is Wilbur. Again, Wilbur, he and Techno never interacted quite a bit when they were in Pogtopia, but not enough, and Ghostbur has really just been chilling with Techno every now and then, even though I'm not sure how Ghostbur would react to Techno now. And finally we have Tubbo. And Tubbo, while Techno and Tubbo have interacted, it's very much been from the position of L'Manberg versus Techno, which is, A, we don't like each other. That's the main way they've interacted throughout most of the series, as Techno's killed Tubbo multiple times. Anyways, on to the characters that do matter. Well, not everyone matters, please don't take that out of place. The characters that he has very close relationship with, or ones that the relationship is a bit more complicated. But let's start off with Techno's closest friend throughout most of the server, Philza Minecraft. Now, Philza has always been Techno's friend. They've been friends from before the server began, with I think MCN as canon, and they were bit friends there. But Techno's lore, not the family lore that I know many people love, Techno's lore is that they are good old friends. Now, of course, Philza has helped Techno move from his hideout base into the new base out in the Arctic that has been there for a while now, and has also alerted Techno when he was about to get attacked by the Butcher army. Of course, Philza then took the fall for this, so Techno came and saved him. They both fought back against L'Manberg, and Philza now fully being on the side of anarchy and being a part of Techno's little group. These two don't have a complicated relationship. They're just really good friends, but it felt a need to really look at it and just go that there are some of the closest knit people on the server. Next up on our long list of character relationships is the Green Man himself, Dream. Now, Techno and Dream never really met up until his execution, actually, when he was gonna die, and Dream had kind of helped him around, given him totem, freed him, got him with Carl. It's kind of shown that Dream and Techno aren't enemies. They aren't allies either, but they are people who know each other, accept how strong each other are, and decided, hey, you're pretty strong, I'm gonna respect you. I'm also gonna if you wanna do something, I'll help you with it if my goals align. We won't really fight, but they're basically neutral, but they will help each other kind of thing. At the moment after the whole L'Manberg destruction, in which there was a team up, Dream still has that favor over Techno, and that might lead to some very interesting things in the future due to Dream, of course, being held up in a hole. Of course, you might have also seen the tweet going around of Techno saying he was too busy to help out Dream, which, kind of shows how they're very much neutral. They don't like each other, but they will help each other out if the need be, or, if it gets them a favor. Next up, we have Tommy Innit. Now, Tommy and Techno's relationship is quite complicated due to the steps it goes through. The first one is, of course, being allies in the L'Manberg or Pogtopian Revolution, as Techno helped Tommy out in the Battle of the Lake. Of course, then their relationship deteriorates as Techno kills Tubbo, an act for which Tommy is still quite pissed at Techno and still doesn't completely forgive. Then, of course, you have the Revolution, which you have the double betrayal, both of them being quite pissed at each other, more so Tommy at Techno. Then Techno takes in Tommy, and, then they're friends for a while. Not friends, but, they're allies, they become friends, and then Tommy betrays Techno. That again, and now they're on, they're pretty much on really bad terms. But it kind of shows that the relationship is really just ups and downs, and that they've been allies, they've been enemies, they've been friends, and it very much depends on what time on the timeline it is, and what events are happening, and how things are going. But at the moment, they don't like each other, and I'd put themselves a bit more toward the antagonistic, even though Tommy went to apologize to Techno, with Techno might be freeing Dream, they could probably get pissed at each other again. Alright, up next, and the final person on this list, is Quackity, the person who hates Techno the most. Now, the reason I put him on this list separately from everyone else, and the reason why I think he deemed his own private spot, is because Quackity and Techno's relationship is very much one of Quackity primal hating Techno, hating him with all of his guts, after him being afraid of him with MCM being canon and like Techno bullying him then, and some streams where Techno just absolutely made Quackity crap his pants as he was just completely terrifying him. That's why the first person on Quackity's kill list after the destruction of the Manberg was Technoblade. Then Techno took one of Quackity's canon lives. They don't like each other. They just have a more like personal relationship than someone like Fundy or Tubbo, who have very much a Lemanberg versus an Anarchist relationship. Alright, time for the conclusion. This is going to be a bit more of a prediction too, because I want to see, because that can help. But as a conclusion, I just want to say that Techno as a character has really changed, or really been one of those characters that has stuck with me, and one of the ones that I think has the best created character from the moment he joined the server. He's one of those characters who came in fully made, knowing exactly what he wanted, how he wanted to work, and he really shows that through his actions. He has his moral code, he has his way of doing things, and he will follow that. He won't break away from that and suddenly do something incredibly out of character. And even when he's acting chill or not completely in character, he still feels in character. Whenever he's chill or hanging out, it still feels like he could pull out a netherite axe and kill the opponent in like a couple seconds, and that would still not break character for him. When he goes to Woodland Mansions, or goes to there to farm gold, or just hangs out with Phil, we still feel like this is the same person who single-handedly, or well, with the help of Dream, single-handedly destroyed a government twice. My predictions for the future are that Techno will either join Dream, or like they'll do something together and oppose either the egg or another government thing that might happen, or that they might just go against the Dream SMP and cause anarchy everywhere. It's not too sure. The only thing that is sure is that Techno, Nikki, and Filza, maybe Nikki won't join for a while, but the members of the anarchy group will go around spreading destruction and chaos, as it always has. Technoblade, the anarchist pig, will probably remain for a while, and I, for one, am very happy he joined, because I get to get a lot of Techno content. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry it took me so long to get this video out, but I have exams, I have school, and I am bad at managing my time. As such, it takes me a bit longer to get videos out than normal, but I hope to, get into it as I start to make more. I really want to thank everyone for all the support I've gotten on my other two videos, especially the Dream one, which has blown up a lot more than I could have ever expected. I'm very thankful for all this, and I'll keep trying to make good content to keep you guys entertained. Anyways, if you want to watch those videos that I was just talking about, click on the links on the screen. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and join the Discord if you want me to actively interact with fan theories and whatnot, because there's a lot of comments, and I am much more active on Discord. Anyways, thank you a lot, and I hope to see you guys for the next one. Bye-bye.